Can African countries completely liberate themselves from their former colonial masters? Do African countries want to be free? Does Africa have what it takes to be free? Make no mistake, Africa is not poor. Africa has all it takes for it to be a great continent. As many African countries fight to liberate themselves, many other African countries want the status quo to remain. This is the truth. My name is Olani Abodedele, and many of you call me The Voice. Today, from my lens, I want to take a look into the tension that is happening between the United States of America and South Africa that led to the meeting between President Donald Trump and President Cyril Ramaphosa at the Oval Office in the White House in the United States of America. Now, whatever your point of view is, will depend on which side of the fence you are sitting. For those on the side of ANC, DA, white monopolist capital, and those that want instant success for their business, they will indeed say the meeting was a great meeting. But for those sitting on the fence of the EFF and those that want a free Africa, a liberated Africa, an Africa that is for Africans, will disagree that this was indeed a very good meeting. Now, from my point of view, one thing is very clear. President Donald Trump's way of doing business. He bullies his opponents into a very tight corner. He makes them desperate, and he makes them to want to see him. That way, he would have an upper hand in negotiation. And that is exactly what played out with South Africa. Now, it shows South Africa is very desperate and is in dire need of financial injection into its economy. It also shows that the financial aid from the United States to South Africa is indeed something South Africa dearly wants. South Africa wants more investment in South Africa and wants more organization to create jobs for its young population and to ease the tension of unemployment. But is this really going to happen? One thing I think might happen is definitely the United States is going to walk out of this deal being more happier because it wants to cement its place on the African continent, and also it wants to empower its business people that are close to Donald Trump. From all this, America is going to get more mining deals, and this is an avenue for Elon Musk, Starlink, and Tesla to make an inroad into South Africa. An inroad by which it will avoid the BEE structure. Now, again, if many of you look at this from only an economic point of view, then that's a great mistake because politics is also involved. How so? One thing we can all agree is ANC have tasted power for a very long time and they know what it takes. They all know what comfort is. They all know how to make money. Their partnership with DA has even brought DA into the picture, and this is something they both want to continue. From the side of the DA, this is a political advantage for them, a political strategy that they have put in place. That strategy aims to keep out EFF and MK party from the political arena in South Africa. By this, DA has practically pushed the ANC to a very tight corner. One thing DA does not want is the ANC going into an alliance with EFF or MK party. And that also played out in the meeting at the White House. The DA leader addressed the EFF and MK party as miscreants.
I also want to just say this, that the two individuals that are in that video that you've seen are both leaders of opposition minority parties in South Africa. Nkonto Wesizwe under Mr. Zuma, and the economic freedom fighters under Mr. Malema. Now, the reason that my party, the Democratic Alliance, which has been an opposition party for over 30 years, chose to join hands with Mr. Ramaphosa's party was precisely to keep those people out of power. We cannot have those people sitting in the union buildings making decisions. And that is why after 30 years of us exchanging barbs across the floor in Parliament and trying to get one over on each other, we've decided to join hands precisely to keep that lot out of government. Because the day they get in to the doors of the union buildings in South Africa or control of our Parliament, that's what you're going to see. And that is why this government, working together, needs the support of our allies around the world so that we can strengthen our hand, grow our economy, and shut the door forever on that rabble getting through the doors of the union buildings, because then South Africa's future.
What happens next is that American companies are going to come into South Africa. They are going to take advantage of South African economy. They are going to repatriate their profits and their finance back to the US. But another striking thing we need to look at is South Africa's alliance and involvement with BRICS. As you all know, South Africa is a strong ally and a strong member of BRICS. Is United States going to use South Africa to cause problem within the BRICS nation? Is the United States going to bully South Africa to drop out of BRICS? What is going to be the relationship between South Africa and Russia, South Africa and China, and other BRICS nations? Now, another striking issue is the rate at which other African countries are pushing out France and the United States from Africa. As you all know, the Western countries need Africa to survive. They need African natural resources for a lot of things in their country. And as these Western countries are being kicked out of Africa, they need a presence in Africa. And South Africa seems to be that perfect place. South Africa is that perfect place for America and France to once again begin to get an inroad into Africa, because they can't do without Africa. They need Africa. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think will be the end of this? I want to hear your opinion. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's have a discussion around this. I think that will be all from me now. Until next time, when I bring you more news on the truth.